The Clamagore will soon be towed to Norfolk, Virginia for the final phase of the recycling project. But first, there's just about 6 weeks of work that needs to be conducted here at its berth at Patriots Point. The main goal is to improve the overall buoyancy of the vessel for the tow, is to make it as safe as possible for the final trip up to Norfolk, Virginia. After we signed the contract with Coleen Marine, they began work the next day. They brought about a dozen of their staff down from Norfolk and began work immediately trying to figure out how to remove the 504 batteries aboard the Clamagore. When she's underway, you don't want a bunch of batteries swaying about, so they were so tightly packed in there, they had a hard time just trying to get that first one out. They used existing hatches. Pulling out 500 batteries that weigh 900 pounds each wasn't easy.
They should have the batteries out maybe even today, probably tomorrow, and they're all interconnected. So you have to get the first one out, then you can start doing the puzzle about getting all the rest of them out. And then they'll go full bore on the sail.
Think about what a submarine looks like. Big long tube with the protrusion sticking out. You remove a bunch of the weight from this big tube, right, which kind of had it sit heavy in the water. Now it's lighter. Now you've got this top-heavy sail. You don't want that thing tipping over while it's being towed, so you want to remove that sail.
We're just starting on the sail, the removal of that, and then the superstructure deck is going to be removed all the way back. The amount of water that she's drawing now, as far as her draft forward and aft, has come up substantially, so she's drawing less water than she was.
It has taken about 450,000 pounds of just dead weight off the boat. So it's brought the level 3 feet higher out of the water. So that's significant and that's great. And Coleen Marine is very happy with how she sits right now in preparation for a tow. So now that the work on the Clamagore is complete, we can prepare the submarine for travel to Norfolk. And that's where really the majority of the recycling process will take place. So it'll be towed up there, put in dry dock, completely encapsulated in an area where they can contain all the contaminants. At that location also, we have quite an extensive list of items that we would like for an exhibit, and also our sister museums would like items from the boat for their museums as well. So let's talk about the periscope. Of course, everybody knows what that is, right? It's about 60 plus feet long telescoping steel tube. You can't just cut it off and yank it out of there because hydraulic fluid is a contaminant. It's got PCBs. Drain that completely out and then remove the periscope, right? Because we want to use that for an exhibit.
Most of the removals will take place up in Norfolk because they're consoles and larger components that can't be moved out of the boat with her in that position. We want to ensure that the shoreline is pristine, stays pristine, and that's our priority. So this is part of the process of being a good ship's husband, taking care of things that cannot be repaired anymore.
You just take a look at where the submarine sits. Of course, there's all sorts of civilian craft and vessels all around us and our neighbors in Charleston Harbor Resort Marina. Water taxi come and goes. We have to open the marina. So we have to contract out to another agency to actually open those breakwaters that will allow tugboats to come in, rig the vessel for towing out, right? So it's not just so easy as a straight shot, a keyhole approach. This boat has no power anymore. So it has to be very delicately and gently slipped out. It's over 320 some feet long, and you have to maneuver these tugboats in to rig her out and pull it out. So that's why the breakwaters have to be removed, power has to be disconnected, boats have to be moved out of the way. It's about a week-long process just to open the proverbial door to get the submarine out of here. And of course, once she's gone, close everything back up.
Once we finish with the removal of the batteries, the sail, and the superstructure deck, and then button it all up, we have to do a stability test, then we should be ready to tow.
I hope folks understand this isn't a happy occasion for us. Just imagining the sailors that worked and lived and served aboard the vessel. Some of them spent years serving on that boat, and that was their home. I mean, guys proudly have pointed out, I slept on that torpedo. That was my rack, I can't relate because I didn't do that, but I get it, It's more than just cool. It's, like I said, there is a little bit of emotion involved with sending her off. I think we've done it respectfully, and we are planning for a future exhibit aboard the Yorktown Clamagore exhibit, so I'm excited about that as well.